Hey guys, it's Jacob. Hope you're doing well. In this video, I want to talk to you about how inside my consulting business, I was able to spend the last month and a bit traveling around Italy. And despite that, we still put through 128K in consulting business. Okay, now a portion of this is recurring revenue and a portion of this is future revenue that has been locked in as a result of closing continuity or retainer based arrangements. Okay, couple of parameters that are worth noting as part of this as well. One, we don't do sales calls. Okay, so I didn't need to be on the phone trying to woo these clients into signing up with us. I didn't have to manage a team of people doing that and making kind of crazy offers and, you know, pounding the pavement on the phone all day. We didn't have to do a series of calls, none of that stuff. All these deals were closed, both the legacy existing deals and the new ones that came online while I was in Italy, just closed over chat. That's our sales methodology. We'll talk a little bit about that in this video. That's one really important point to note. The second really important point to note is I do not have a big team. At the time of filming this, the team is myself, I have a VA, and I have an agency that helps me with some video production, some short stuff, some YouTube stuff, and they take that off my plate. I don't have a sales team. I don't have an operations team. I work with my clients directly. I close the deals when the relevant opportunities present themselves. Because of how we're able to do that, it's not a laborious or long process, and I create the content. Right, so really I'm creating content and I'm working with my clients. We get them really good results. We create relevant content, and then through those two key pillars in the business, new opportunities are created. And I will have a quick kind of qualification chat with prospects, and I'll say, yes, I think I can help you. Here's what I would recommend. Here's how we can work together. Be that in a small group setting, which is important to the model, or one-to-one. Take on some one-to-one clients as well. And then obviously the alternative is that, look, I don't think I'm a fit to help you. I might point them in the right direction if I feel like there's potentially a colleague in the industry that would be a better fit. And obviously we don't accept a lot of people. Okay, so the last month and a bit, I really haven't been working much. It's the 18th of April, so call it the last 6 weeks. My quote unquote work has been limited to client calls, which is a pretty lean calendar, and a little bit of content, right? Creating some videos, a couple of posts here and there on the socials, a few emails. But I was taking some time off. The first part of that, I needed to move. I've got my first child arriving in July. My partner's pregnant, and so we need to move to a bigger place. So this is the new home office inside the new apartment. That was the first thing we did, which took a week, and then we went to Italy for over a month, and I did very little work during that time. And what I wanted to show you is and really talk through how this is possible and still able to do these deals despite the fact that I don't have a big team, despite the fact that we're not pounding the cold DMs all day, or we're not pounding book as many strategy sessions as possible. We're not taking on a ton of clients. We run a very, very small, lean client book, and we can still make this happen. Okay, there's a couple of core pillars to all of this. The very, very first element is really creating your signature offer. Okay, it's about building a sometimes one, sometimes two tier, depending on the situation. I personally run a 2-tiered structure, flagship offer. Okay, that's the main place that you are going to work with and advise your clients. Right, if it's a single tier, you might run 1-to-1, or you could run group. If it's a double tier, a 2-tier arrangement, you might have a group structure and a 1-to-1 structure. That gives people the opportunity to work with you at a slightly more, lower price point. And then obviously 1-to-1 is going to be more expensive because it is more directly tied to your time. But they're all wrapped up under the same kind of umbrella offer. Really, the main variable, the main difference is how much 1-to-1 support people are receiving. And so that's going to be the master kind of flagship offer. That's the first thing that you really, really need to nail. And a couple of elements that go into that is what pain and or pains or problems are you helping people solve? What outcome and or outcomes are you helping people achieve? And what's the methodology, the path, the process, the plan, the protocol that you're going to implement with them in order to go from point A to point B. Okay, they're really the key variables that you need to nail. All right, if you want it plain and simple. Okay, once you've got that in place, then you need to take that and convert it into what's called an offer asset. You can look at other videos on my channel. There's some examples, and that's really a document or a document with a video over the top of it. Something similar to this can be very casual, where you talk through, if you're struggling with these things, if you want to achieve these things, here's our methodology, here's our plan. If you're interested in working together, these are the deliverables, this is the investment, these are the parameters around the offer, all those kind of things. You literally pull that together as a proposal or as a presentation, and you can either just send it as a document, that's how we do it sometimes, or you can put a loom over the top, or put a video over the top. If you want to add a bit more color or a bit more context, you can talk through that document. We've done it both ways. It works great. Now you've got a leveraged sales asset, and ideally a program that provides you leverage, aka you're not selling your time on an hourly basis, that you can sell. And it's based on solving strong pains and problems that people have, achieving really desirable outcomes, and there's a clear plan and path in order to implement so that they can go from point A to point B. That's really the starting point. You need to get all that on the table. You need to package all that up. You need to create an offer asset that allows you to sell that. Okay. Once you've got that in place, that's the thing that you are going to sell over chat. Okay. Now, there's one of two ways that you can end up in a conversation with potential clients. They can come to you, and I'll talk about that in a second, or you can go to them. Okay. So if you're building from scratch, you're not going to have any audience, right? You're not going to have any audience. So you need to start getting out there and get on the front foot and grow. All right. Obviously, you're not going to be hitting these numbers out of the gate. I've been doing this for years. Okay. So you've got inbound and outbound lead generation strategies, right? The messenger conversation is really the bridge in the middle between that offer that we spoke about and what we call your content ecosystem. Okay, so I create videos, I create written posts, I create emails like the one that you're seeing in front of you on the screen. We do some short form video. Sometimes I go out and do interviews. The point is you create this universe or this world of content. I have a Facebook group. We obviously post on the socials. You create this world of content, right? Where you really share your views, your philosophies, your methodologies, who you are as a leader, as a coach, as a consultant. You share that with the market, right? You share it frequently, and you show up on these different platforms. You can repurpose content. You can move people around your ecosystem. You might move them from a YouTube video into a group or a community, and they might read your emails on the way through. Then they might start following you on Facebook and kind of see what you're up to in your life. And you're really letting people into your world and what you do and how you see things and all this kind of stuff. And you create this immersive environment, because the key here is consumption. The more we can get people to spend time with us, the more we can get them to consume, the stronger that relationship becomes. And building this content ecosystem is really all about building relationships at scale. And how we do that is through consumption. The relationship is built based on the amount of time that people spend with you. Let me repeat that. The relationship is based on the amount of time that people spend with you. So we want to get people reading all of our stuff and watching our videos and listening to our podcasts and hanging out in our group. And we want them moving around our world as we create these different pieces of content, such that at a certain point in time, they're going to go, I have to work with Jacob. Now is the time. Then we can have that quick DM conversation, and we've got that evergreen offer asset. We present it. When we make sure that they're the right fit, there's a conversation process that we take them through, which we can talk about in future videos. We make them the offer, we close the deal, and then they become a client, and a different process, relationship, experience really kicks off from there. When you're building out your content ecosystem, I would recommend that you do it in layers. Don't go and try and add everything at once. You might want to start with, say, just a Facebook profile or a LinkedIn profile. Then in time, you might want to layer in a video platform such as YouTube. You might want to layer in email so that you're really building up that owned asset within the business. And then progressively, you start to develop a bit of complexity and a bit of robustness to the content ecosystem, and you can start to move people around such that they consume different pieces of your content. And eventually, either you reach out to them, outbound messenger strategy, DM strategy, or they come to you, you ask a couple of questions, they give you the relevant answers, you qualify in or out, you present the offer, and you close the deal. That's the model in a nutshell, okay? And so to tie this back to the original point of the video around how these types of results are possible, despite very limited work and a small team, is because we're building assets first and foremost. In those two core components of the business, you're building content assets and you've got your offer asset. Okay, the offer asset also flows into a leveraged delivery system. I did say that I did calls with clients. That was one group call a week, and then the couple of calls with my one-to-one clients as well. And then I have some one-to-one clients who can access me via chat as well, and I would talk to them as and when was relevant. But you've got a leveraged offer with a leveraged delivery system, and you've got a leveraged content ecosystem. So I did a few posts as well. But when you build this the right way, such that it's compounding over time, and also your revenue is compounding because you're selling retainer-based monthly recurring revenue, they could be 4, 6, 12-month deals. You aren't starting each month fresh, and you're not relying on a cold messaging or a cold call sales strategy in order to drive business. The ecosystem exists whether I'm sitting at my desk or not, right? And if someone inbounds me, we can have a very quick conversation and I can send over that offer. It's sitting there ready to go. I don't need to take 45 minutes out of my calendar in order to have that call. So it's due to the key leverage aspects in those two really pillars of the business that makes this possible, okay? And this is something that you need to chip away at and build over an extended period of time. It's not going to happen overnight, but some pretty amazing stuff can happen when you commit to this model, commit to this approach. And if you want a lower stress way of doing business, you don't want to have to manage a big team. You want to be able to have a clear calendar, and then the second, third, and fourth order consequences and benefits of that are amazing. I'll get into those in future videos. But really the key to being able to do this and being able to step away from the business and still have significant sales and revenue coming in, cash coming in, is tapping into those key points of leverage, particularly in the content ecosystem and the offer creation. And that's both in terms of the hook and the really the message behind the offer, but also in the delivery of it as well. Okay, you can head over to jacobcaris.com if you want more information about this, but they're the two key elements that you need to be building out if you want to really detach your time and your energy from the business and you want to be able to step back while still have things ticking along nicely. Appreciate you hanging out with me in this video. Cheers.